edition of Cheers to Careers. I'm Steve Ridinghouse, the Career Outreach Coordinator at the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at KU. So welcome to another episode of Cheers to Careers. I am Steve Ridinghouse, the Career and Outreach Coordinator for the KU School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Today we are joined by Mike Happe, President and CEO of Winnebago Industries. Welcome, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
And I know this is virtual, and so you're on the road anyway, but where are you at right now? I know you're not close to kind of your home base.
Yeah, I'm in Sarasota, Florida. One of the businesses we own here at Winnebago Industries is the Chris-Craft boat business. And Chris-Craft's headquarters is in Sarasota, and we're here celebrating the opening of a new assembly building for the Chris-Craft business today.
And I know you'd mentioned you've been at Winnebago since 2016. Is this the first time you've had a new plant added since you've been there, or have you done this before?
No, we've had the good fortune and blessing of opening a number of new buildings across our different businesses. We have 5 different brands within the Winnebago Industries portfolio, and several of those brands and businesses have needed capital expansion through the years that I've been with the company. So we make these decisions carefully because they are in many cases 8-figure investments in the business just to add one new building as an example. But we've opened many new buildings in my time here.
And I noticed recently, I think I saw the Minnesota Business Journal named you the 2023 Executive of the Year. What's your reaction to that? Was that a surprise, or you must be doing some good work down there?
Well, it's a humbling recognition, and I have to say almost immediately that it's validation of the team that I have around me and the team of employees here that work at Winnebago Industries. We've had a lot of change and transformation in the 7+ years I've been with the company, but Steve, nobody does it by themselves, and I'm honored on behalf of Winnebago Industries to receive that particular award. And again, it's just validation of a lot of good work by the team I work with.
And I know you just mentioned about some change at Winnebago. I know when I think of Winnebago, I always think of the RVs, but you have really expanded your portfolio in recent years, correct?
We have. Winnebago Industries is now 65 years old, and really is I think you would agree, its flagship brand Winnebago is synonymous really with especially motorized recreational vehicles. It's almost a Kleenex-like brand within the industry. When someone sees an RV going down the road, they may refer to it as a Winnebago, when in fact it may or may not be that particular brand. And so, yes, we are a pioneer. Some 65 years back in the recreational vehicle industry, but we have had in the last decade a strategic intent to diversify into a broader outdoor recreation company. Still around mobility and family and friends having fun in the outdoors. And so we've expanded our RV offering with the addition of a couple different brands, Grand Design and Newmar. But we've also diversified into the marine segment with 2 boat businesses, Chris-Craft, as I mentioned earlier, some of the finest boats you'll find in the world, high-end luxury fiberglass cruising boats. But we also, about a year and a half ago, acquired Barletta pontoon boats, which is really the fastest growing pontoon business that the marine industry has ever seen. And so today we have 3 RV companies and 2 boat companies and a much more diversified outdoor recreation portfolio.
And I bet your family vacations, those must be pretty amazing. You guys just load up Winnebago any way you want to go and just head on the road?
Well, I wish it were that easy. With my kids' schedule over the years, it's been hard to sneak away as much as we'd like. We do have a cabin, a lake place in northern Minnesota that we spend an awful lot of time at in the summer. And so probably one of our favorite family activities together is spending time at the cabin, and especially getting on the water and enjoying the outdoors in northern Minnesota.
And how is Winnebago? And I mean, since COVID, there's a lot of talk kind of the outdoor recreation industry. You guys probably did pretty well during that time, right? It seemed like a lot of people were kind of itching just to get out, or were you impacted in any negative way?
Well, listen, in hindsight, the pandemic brought a lot of people to the outdoors, and it ended up being very good for our company. Probably like everyone else, in mid-March of 2020, we weren't so certain that that was going to happen. You know, we shut our factories down, Steve, really our entire business for about 6 weeks, from March 27th to May 4th. We really collected $0 of revenue and sent all of our employees home, primarily for their safety. But what happened probably about 3 weeks after the world shut down in mid to late March is our dealers began to contact us, and they were frenetically asking us to start production again, because as individuals and families like you and I and you know, the people that we were you know, trying to keep safe, you know, we just could not stand the thought of just staying in our houses and doing nothing. And so people rushed to the outdoors beginning in the late spring of 2020 for safety and security and freedom, a sense of being still able to control their lives at that time. And they began to spend money on you know, outdoor recreation products and services. And so we went from completely shut down to trying to turn our supply chain back on to a much higher level, safely bring our employees back to work. And the next 2 years were just chaotic in a very positive way as we tried to meet the incredible demand of people coming to the outdoors, camping, hiking, fishing, boating, golfing, you know, you name it, people wanted to be outside. And while that frenzy has definitely settled as we've run into more normal, you know, conditions and certainly some more tough economic conditions, we believe that many people fell in love with the outdoors in a different way, and that will support a prosperous future for our business over the next several decades.
And we talked briefly before we started this interview. What were you doing three months ago to the day? Remember that day?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee, watching our Jayhawks and Coach Leipold's KU team in a thrilling game against Arkansas there in the Liberty Bowl. And what a thrill that was for KU alumni and fans to be back at a bowl game, and just to see KU Nation show out that night, you know, in Memphis, was just tremendous. And I think the future of KU football looks really good right now. And I'm like any other alums, I'm very excited about, you know, obviously them performing at a higher level and really the benefits that come with that to the KU community. You know, whether it's arguably more attention on the university to, excuse me, help recruit more students, or just the camaraderie and connection of you know, KU alums all around the world as they rally together to watch some of our sports teams.
And I know, Mike, I met you through another, the great Matt Finnegan, a mutual friend of ours. I know he was with us in Memphis. So yeah, I'm glad he made this connection. So you're a broadcast news major at KU. So what was your plan when you were at KU? Were you always hoping for a career in broadcasting, or did you think that broadcasting background would help you kind of make that more of a business career path?
Yeah, I chose KU primarily because of their competency and leadership in the field of journalism. And, you know, when I was growing up, Steve, as a little kid, my father did a short stint in broadcasting for a small market ABC affiliate as a sportscaster. I guess early on, you know, looking up to your dad, you see that profession, and a piece of that, you know, sort of bit me in terms of an aspiration. And so, yeah, when I was, you know, 18 years old, headed to Lawrence, Kansas, you know, I wanted to be, candidly, probably one of those anchors on SportsCenter and ESPN, and that's the field that I chose to pursue academically, and I'm proud of that degree, certainly from KU.
So did you come to KU from Minnesota?
No, I grew up in a town in northwest Iowa called Sioux City, Iowa, which is, you know, probably about 4.5, a little under 5 hours away from Lawrence. I had no relatives that went to KU ahead of me. I did have one of my dad's brothers and his family that lived in Overland Park, Kansas, and became familiar with, you know, with the Kansas City area. But KU having one of the top journalism schools, you know, not only today, but at that time as well, I was drawn to, to that, the William Allen, White School of Journalism, and certainly don't regret that decision at all. And Steve, while I'm not in broadcasting as a full-time profession today, really the benefits of my journalism degree, I articulate all the time as a master class in communication. Whether it was writing or presenting or speaking, the journalism degree today still is a significant piece of my foundation professionally, and for that I'm very, very grateful for my experience in Lawrence.
And I know before Winnebago, you're at Turo for about 20 years and you're taking on leadership positions throughout your time there. I mean, were you always thinking down the road, hey, I want to be a leader, a president, CEO of a company someday? Was that always part of the plan?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think, like everybody else, I showed up at my first job with a lot to learn, and in need of a lot of direction and mentoring and coaching, and really, over the years I've been really blessed, Steve, to be around great organizations like the Toro Company for 20 years, great coaches and mentors. I've been extremely supported by my wife and my family. No doubt I've worked hard every day to show up and to do good work. But I'm also a big believer, Steve, that there are at times some luck in your life that turns into opportunities that you have a choice to take advantage of or not. And I think that's what has happened to me through the years. Great mentors, great companies, hard work, but some luck every now and then with some opportunities that open that I've been given a chance to take on. And I'm certainly privileged and blessed to be leading an organization today like Winnebago Industries. But that was never the plan, from my early days. I think those opportunities are things that happen to you or you grow into. And my job's no more or less important than anybody else's job at Winnebago Industries. It's just different. And I value the work that all 7,000 of our teammates here at Winnebago do.
Now, did you get recruited by Winnebago, or did you have to go through a pretty stringent application process?
I was called by a recruiter about the opportunity. At the time, I was leading a meaningful part of the Toro Company's portfolio, several of their different businesses at the time. And I simply got a call from a recruiter with an opportunity to, as she put it, lead one of America's most iconic outdoor brands. And once I coaxed her into telling me what the brand was, I said, well, listen, that's interesting enough to learn more about the opportunity. And the more I learned about the opportunity, it was candidly, Steve, an intersection of restoring greatness to an iconic brand like Winnebago. Winnebago at the time was not as healthy as it should have been, especially given its strong legacy. And the board of directors of Winnebago Industries at the time really wanted a leader with a stronger vision and strategic conviction about where the business could go. And so that almost, Harvard business case challenge was really appealing. The other part, candidly, was the opportunity to lead in a different way and at a different level, and to test my leadership capabilities in a completely new and different environment. And so it was really the combination of those two, elements that led me to make the decision to come to Winnebago Industries. And it's been a thrilling ride here. I think we've strengthened the company. We've certainly added a number of other great businesses. But I still have to learn something every day. The team around me are the subject matter experts, and it's my job to empower them, certainly provide them with a longer range vision for us to collectively strive for. But my job is to try to figure out how to get resources to our talented team to bring our future vision to life. So it's a privilege to lead the company.
And speaking of bringing vision to life, I believe you were on campus, in February for the dedication of the new Jayhawk Welcome Center?
I was. Yeah, that's a great facility.
And I know you're involved with the Alumni Association. I believe you're the chair-elect for 2022-23. So talk a little bit about your involvement with the KU Alumni Association.
Yeah, I just enjoy significantly the opportunity to give back to KU through the KU Alumni Association board, and working with Heath Peterson and his staff at the Alumni Association, and really the rest of the board of directors has just been a tremendous opportunity. KU, Steve, like hopefully a lot of alums, was a turning point in my life. I obviously received a great education and degree. I established some great friendships, like with Matt Finnegan that you mentioned earlier, and many others. I had the chance to meet ultimately my life partner and wife, Shannon, up on the Hill. And so the opportunity to give back to the university, not just financially as we all decide, the ability to do, but with sort of the time and effort. And yeah, so serving on the Alumni Association has been great. And I tell you what, this Welcome Center is fantastic. It is a significant investment to make the most positive first impression on prospective students coming to the university to determine whether KU is right for them. And I think this is one of, if not the best facilities of its kind in the entire nation. And when a prospective student walks into the Welcome Center and checks in that day and sees their name go up on the giant video screen, and in terms of welcoming them to campus, and the views from the Welcome Center to the rest of the Hill and the university, and then the world-class displays and exhibits that talk about life as a KU student, but also as an alum. And then the great presentations by the admissions office and the student ambassadors, just a fantastic, collaborative project by the university, the Alumni Association, KU Endowment. And I think it's going to, have a strong return on its investment in strengthening the university through not only more students making a decision to go to KU, but students from all walks of life, and probably with high potential in the future. So just a great place that if other alums come back to campus, go see the Welcome Center. It's worth the visit.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we had a J School alum from Los Angeles. She had not been on campus in 20 years, and I had her name put on the digital screen. She was not expecting that. And yeah, she was blown away. Yeah, she was very impressed by the whole facility. And I know you mentioned your wife, Shannon. She's also a J School alum. Now, did she get into broadcasting, or what was kind of her career track?
She did not either. So, we've got two J School alums, up here in the Twin Cities, who are very proud of KU, but ultimately decided to pursue different fields. Shannon ended up going into sales for one of Minnesota's largest private printing companies. And then she transitioned to a career in the pharmaceutical sales industry. And I tell you what, she was a heck of a salesperson when she was working full-time outside of the home. Steve, we're blessed to have 4 kids, and Shannon has spent most of the last 20 plus years working full-time inside the home, raising these kids, and I couldn't be more appreciative of her and the commitment she's made to our family. But she's a big KU fan as well. And one of our thrilling moments was being down in New Orleans, last year on that Monday night when KU came back from that halftime deficit versus North Carolina, and Coach Self and his team, won another national championship in New Orleans. And in many ways, for Shannon and I, as we were standing there with with our kids that weekend, it was almost a full circle moment. That our relationship began in Lawrence as Jayhawk students, and now here we are, rooting with our kids for KU as adults. And so just another story about KU's presence in our lives.
Yeah, well said. And Mike, before you have to go, I know we're about 6 weeks from graduation, and you've had some great tips already, but say you had the mic for commencement day, what kind of advice would you share with like journalism grads or just KU grads in general? Like, what should they be expecting once they enter the workforce?
Wow. You know, I try to keep it simple, Steve. I'm not a huge believer in sort of Dilbert-like leadership platitudes. You know, I'm one of those guys who just say, hey, you know, find your passion in life, your purpose in life, and if you can connect your career to that, you know, as the old saying goes, you'll never work another day in your life. But you know, show up, work hard, treat people the way that you expect to be treated, pay it forward, invest in yourself, bet on yourself, maintain a work-life balance that is right for you. And if you do most of or all of those things, you'll define success, and you'll find success in the way that you're comfortable with it. And so, you know, I haven't prepared that commencement speech ever, so I would try to keep it simple, you know, for the students going out, you know, into the real world. I will tell you what, you know, having been around, you know, Chancellor Girard and some of the university leaders for the last 5 or 6 years as part of the Alumni Association board, I've never been more proud or optimistic about the future of KU and how prepared the students at KU are going out to contribute, you know, to the rest of society. And so it's a great time to be a Jayhawk, Steve, with what's happening, you know, at the University of Kansas.
No, indeed. Hey, again, Mike Happe, I appreciate you taking the time to join us and being connected to KU and all your alumni involvement. And I always like to close with a little cheers. I know you have.
Here's my Chris Craft mug, you know, so.
Hey, again, have a safe trip back home, and I appreciate your time. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Steve. Rock chalk.